Greetings and salutations, friends, and welcome back. We are here tonight to start the week off of our continuing coverage of the strange and mysterious phenomenon behind the UFO phenomenon. I thought it would be good to do a sort of review looking at the ridiculous amounts of money that the Grift Squad makes even when pushing completely and totally fake stories. And isn't it interesting that so many of them, once the story gets busted as being completely and totally a fake story, see my last video before tonight's broadcast on Ross Coulthard's latest 100% fake story. Uh, you know, occasionally people will argue with me and tell me that I only see the bad in people, right? They can't all be slime balls, Stephen. You only see the bad in people. Well, I would like those people to tell me what kind of a person gets caught selling a completely and totally fake story, but then somehow leaves the monetized video up and just continues to accept ad revenue for a completely and totally busted story, sometimes for years. And we're going to see examples of that. By the way, last that I did check in, Ross Coulthard and this Bryce or Bruce Zabel, Zobi, whatever, that dude, they have a show called Need to Know. And you need to know that they're accepting monetized money. They're taking ad revenue. Last I checked, the video is still up. Wherein in that video, Ross is telling a completely and totally fake story that's now been completely and totally busted as a fake story. But isn't it interesting that they leave the monetization on and they keep collecting money even after the story is busted as fake? So when you tell me I only see the bad in people, yeah, maybe I do, but I'm a realist. And if you're despicable slimeball enough to leave ads on after you've already somebody has already proven that your story is fake, and you're still going to take money for a completely and totally fake story. For how long? Linda Moulton Howe's Orange Gray Alien completely and totally fake story based on completely and totally fake pictures of aliens, 3D renders by a CGI artist that she claimed were real pictures of aliens. She got hundreds of thousands of views for that story, all monetized, and all those videos are still up right now as we speak, collecting ad money for a completely and totally busted fake story. My opinion is that if someone were to do that intentionally, I really think that they should be ashamed of themselves. It's and what other industry or anything do you get caught essentially committing fraud, right? Claiming, oh, this is definitely a true story and selling it as a true story. Then it turns out the story is completely and totally fake. To me, these things are a form of fraud. So, pardon me if you think I don't see the good in people. Where's the good in after you get caught committing a fraud, just keep collecting the money? Is there any other criminal situation wherein you could get caught? Like, for example, let's say you found a checkbook somewhere and you start writing bad checks, right? But then the police caught you. Do you get to just continue to write bad checks and profit from a fraud? No. You should be forced to stop taking money from committing what is essentially a form of fraud, in my opinion. And again, I'm not a law enforcement officer and nor a lawyer. This is just my opinion about the ethics and the morality and perhaps the legality. I don't know. Somebody needs to explain to me how this is legal. And someday, somebody from YouTube needs to explain to me why YouTube allows these grifters to continue to collect money from stories they swore were true, even after the stories come crashing down and revealed to be completely and totally fake. Now, and also interesting, I'm going to bring it up again. I am going to bring it up again. Apparently, you can completely and totally sell fake stories on YouTube. And while you're doing that, you can be completely and totally monetized. But we are only not even 11 minutes, really. I've barely been speaking for 6 minutes now. And our video here is already demonetized for ad suitability. This video may earn limited or no ad revenue due to content identified as not suitable for most advertisers. We use a combination of automated systems and human reviews to detect violations in our advertiser-friendly content guidelines. Now, I will ask you, everyone within the sound of my voice, especially anyone who may be familiar with the ad, what is suitable for ads on YouTube. We haven't violated anything. We haven't done anything. I haven't cursed. I haven't even raised my voice yet. Ours is demonetized, limited to no ads for ad suitability. Yet Linda Moulton Howe's completely and totally fake story about orange gray aliens that came from a picture that somebody made, a CGI render, is still on YouTube. She's still fully monetized. Those videos are still collecting revenue. So pardon me if I get a little bitter and cynical about this particular situation, especially this situation. After all, it appears that, like I said, you can go on YouTube and lie to people and collect all the money you want. But if you do a story revealing that those people are deceiving people and collecting money for completely and totally fake stories, then you will get demonetized. I am keeping track of these on a spreadsheet. So eventually I'm going to go to YouTube and try to get some answers. Why is this appropriate? Why is this okay? And we've tried everything from me stopped smoking on screen to, we stopped cursing. It's still happening. It's still happening. But I do want to take a moment to thank all of you kind and generous benefactors, you super chatters, you PayPal pledgers, Patreon supporters, Twitch subscribers, and YouTube channel members, because that makes up for our lack of ad revenue. And I'm also going to address some other controversy before we get deeper into the discussion tonight. I got several messages over the weekend. By the way, I had a fantastic weekend. I took my son fishing, and he really showed up his old dad. He caught 3 fish. I caught none. And that was the first time that my son was successful in a fishing trip. I think I mentioned, but there's a fishing pond right near the cabin. And last year or the year before that, I think, all the fish in the pond died because it was a terrible winter. So they all froze and didn't make it through the winter. So there was no fish in there. We didn't know it. We were just fishing, spending hours. Boy, not even a bite, Dad. Yeah. Anyway, they restocked the pond not long ago, and now there are catfish and bass and a few other, I think, trout. I don't know. Anyway, he did great. My point is, I was having a fun weekend, spending quality time with my family, and all of a sudden my phone blows up because a previous guest here on Truthseekers decided to do a hit piece on me. And this is always interesting to me, that there are so many backstabbing crybaby bitches in the world. We're not even going to acknowledge that person. By the way, he sold me out and was willing to do a hit piece on me so that he could get something like 80 views on Rumble, right? Which is like not even worth 20 views on YouTube. So, and one thing that I have no patience in my life for, no tolerance in my life for, is crybaby backstabbing bitches, because my DMs are open, my PMs are open. This person has my cell phone number. And if I did something or said something that this person took offense with or found, ethically problematic, right? Suddenly I'm a dirtball now, according to this person, who, by the way, we brought here as a guest. We were very kind to, we were very polite to. I try to help this person. And what do I get? I get a knife in my back. And what was my sin? What was so terrible that I did wrong? Well, apparently, I sold some t-shirts, and that, my friends, makes me a grifter too, because I'm making money. And it always just amazes me that some people are willing to stab somebody in the back out of literally out of being a jealous, bitter, angry, jealous little bitch, right? Yeah, I sold some t-shirts. I'm going to sell lots of t-shirts this year, and you can too. Or you could be a jealous, backstabbing bitch and cry and complain because somebody is very successful at something you were too lazy to do. And by the way, every time something like this happens to me, I just shake my head and I say to myself, especially, look, I was having a nice weekend, and this person tried to ruin my weekend, right? Talking all kinds of smack, and I just thought, like, hey, show me on this doll where Steve Cambion hurt you on the internet. Show me on the doll, bitch. Show me on the doll, bitch. Where did I hurt you on the internet? Oh my God, I sold some t-shirts. Yeah. And the t-shirts fund this show and allows us to continue our actual honest coverage of these strange and esoteric topics and characters from conspiracy land. We have created income streams here for our show that makes us financially independent of the whole grift squad. We don't have to play nice with the UFO grifters or the fake psychics or the fake healers or the fake secret space program nonsense peddlers, because we have our own income here. We don't have to play nice with them to get views and make money. So yeah, we sold some t-shirts. My God, if the greatest sin that I ever commit in my life is selling t-shirts to fund a show, which I believe that our show is of great public benefit. So if my greatest sin in life is that I sold t-shirts, and you want to make a video crying like a little crybaby bitch because I sold some t-shirts and you didn't, then go ahead and do it. And you're not going to ruin my weekend. I will simply cut you from my life like the cancer you are, you backstabby little bitch. And by the way, I also found out that I shouldn't have helped that person, because it turns out that that person was a Corey Good ass-licking cult member. And the reason that person makes videos going after all the SSP people is because those are all Corey Good's competition. So what we have here is a Corey Good little bitch, cult ass-licking cult member, little bitch, going on Rumble. Why? Because he can't get on YouTube. He's just too dumb to. I don't know. But he's on Rumble, crying and complaining and bitching about me. Awesome. And no, I didn't let it ruin my weekend. My son and I had a fishing competition. This was serious, man. He's very competitive, and he would not let me forget, and he will never let me forget that he caught 3 fish and I caught nothing. Nothing. I was just feeding fish. I was getting all kinds of nibbles. I didn't. My point is that I will not let these people affect me. Like, if that's the worst you can do, and you always got to bring in the grandma's boy memes and shit, right? If the best thing that you could do in a hit piece about me is cry like a little girl and complain that I sold some t-shirts, and then say, he looks like the guy from Grandma's Boy, fuck him. If that's the best you got, I've already won, and you're a loser. Loser! All right, now I've gotten that off my chest. I feel a little better. And by the way, I just want to put it out there that I may say or do something that anybody can take offense to. My DMs are open. My PMs are open. I read my emails. I respond to people. You can go into Discord and ask me a question or say, hey, I don't think you should be doing X, Y, or Z, Steve, and I disagree with you doing that. And I'll talk to you about it. We'll agree to disagree if we can't come to some resolution on some fantastical sin that I've committed, like selling t-shirts of all things. And, again, I'm just going to say we're not selling fake stories. We're not lying to people. We're not pretending. Uh, we're not pretending that, for example, uh, you know, a picture from a video game is a real alien. We're not lying to people about an Area 51 patch. We do our very best to try to do good work here. Now, please bear with me for one moment. Of course, I'm getting some kind of error message right in the middle of a live broadcast because, that's what happens here. uh, 1 second, friends. Okay. Let me just do something to quickly free up some space here. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is a lot of people have asked about the new set, and we are rapidly getting there as far as that goes. 1 second. I'm going to pull that up. So the set is more or less finally finished, but I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to do all the wiring now. 1 second here. Let me pull that up to share with you. So the set's looking pretty good. I'm satisfied, I guess, with it. Things may change before we begin welcoming guests here into the live studio. 1 second. One second, let me pull that up. Where is this not working? Oh, here we go. Okay. So here, for those that have asked, is the new set, which will allow us to do in-person interviews. Obviously, lighting is not right yet, and I have to wire all the cameras and the microphones. I will begin on that this evening, so I'm going to try to keep my comments and discussion about tonight's topic brief. We're not going to be here for a long one tonight. So I would like to talk in a little more detail about the ridiculous amounts of money that some of these people are making. But before we do, we have to recognize that so many of these people have UFO-related organizations. Lou Elizondo started several for-profit or non-profit, I don't know, UFO-related organizations, right? There was Skyfort. I don't know what happened to that. Gary Nolan has his Soul Foundation, which is a organization dedicated to some kind of UFO activism. So he's collecting money for that. And then, of course, Dave Grush is the chief operating officer of Gary Nolan's UFO organization. Then, of course, we've got Ryan Graves, who we're going to get to. He started the foundation, or whatever it's called, for Safe Aerospace, right? Citizens for Safe Aerospace. He doesn't care about safe aerospace. And Ryan Graves is a profiteering huckster. He's intentionally pushing the UFO threat narrative so that he could get contracts to help make aerospace safer for all of us. Just give me some government contracts. Give me some money. And now it appears that Ryan Graves is hooking his shit wagon up to Jaime Maussan. And Scott Brown of In the Field posted this amazing graphic all about all of the hoaxes that Jaime Maussan has been involved in. Why would somebody who's running a serious UFO research or whatever organization that wants government contracts be working with the biggest UFO hoaxer? I think that he's worse than Third Phase of Moon. That's pretty bad. He's terrible. The guy's pushed hoax after hoax after hoax after hoax, fake story after fake story after fake story, and now we've got Ryan Graves gonna go talk to the Mexican Senate, right? I hope he sees a donkey show while he's down there. Inside joke, long story. Okay, so let's. I'm going to put up my fair use banner here, and we are going to share my screen. I think this is great. We had Stephen Greenstreet share this clip today. Gary Nolan, the executive director of Soul Foundation, says that he sees a huge commercial gold mine in UFOs. Mr. Greenstreet goes on to say that Nolan is a UFO activist who claims an alien visited him as a child and that aliens have been visiting Earth for a long time. Yeah, and he was also the guy that was supposed to give us, quote, conclusive proof of alien technology. He didn't prove shit. He didn't have any evidence. Not only did they not have conclusive proof, they had no proof. And that's a whole other story. But let's listen to Mr. Nolan talk about what a gold mine UFOs can be.
If they are doing these things that are unconventional or frankly impossible, as you know, as a pilot, then somebody has access to either levels of power or levels of physics understanding that we don't appreciate. I see a huge commercial gold mine in that. If they are
huge commercial gold mine in UFOs, yes, there is a huge commercial gold mine in UFOs. And while we are on this, Mr. Greenstreet also went on to say that the Soul Foundation is a new UFO company proclaiming victory after a deceptive 6-year media campaign successfully duped Congress about aliens. And then he quotes from the Soul Foundation, quote, now that UFOs are considered real enough by Congress, real enough? Yes, real enough is apparently good enough, says Greenstreet, to lobby for some taxpayer-funded resources. Stoll states they'd like to offer advisory UFO research to the United States and other national governments and provide suggestions for new UFO laws. Anyone who's been paying attention, so not the news media or government leaders, realizes this is a complete and utter madness. Soul is made up of dubious UFO activists and dubious motivations. Also, strikingly, Soul is currently hiding its association with UFO whistleblower and congressional UFO witness David Grush. Apparently, Mr. Grush is nowhere to be found on the UFO company's website, despite him recently telling Congress that he's the chief operating officer. So what kind of a shady company doesn't list their chief operating officer on their website? Greenstreet goes on to say that Grush is connected to a small cadre of crazy ghost hunters and nutjob UFO believers. Soul Foundation will be holding its first event in November featuring some of the spooky activists who've been doing the paranormal hustle for years. So it's a big club. And I ain't in it, so I can tell you the truth about it. Now, while we're that interview clip was, I believe that was from when Ryan Graves interviewed Mr. Gary Nolan. 1 second here. Now Ryan Graves is now hitching himself to the Jaime Maussan shit wagon, which I think is pretty bad. Or good. It's good for those UFO dollars because Jaime Maussan is the person behind the Roswell slides hoax. You remember that, where it was just a mummy from a museum display, and they obscured the placard, and then they collected hundreds of thousands of dollars in pay-per-view money. They never gave any of the money back, and instantly, as soon as they showed the non-blurry image of the so-called alien, it got debunked within an hour. You remember that guy? Yeah. So that guy is now the guy that Ryan Graves is going to work with. I don't really know why he would work with Jaime Maussan, the biggest UFO hoaxer in the history of Mexico for sure, and maybe the world. And here is a list of Jaime Maussan's hoaxes. The ship Maussan and Guerrero said accompanied the Halley-Bopp comet. You remember that story? Yeah. That was Jaime Maussan. 1 second. Let me change that background. There we go. And then, of course, we have the UFO sighting Venus during the eclipse of July 11th, 1991. 3, the fake photographs of Carlos Diaz Martinez and his alien tripod. 4, UFO or galaxy. It was the Sombrero Galaxy, or M104, not a UFO. Number 5, Masan supports the Billy Edmer Meyer hoax of photographs and films. Yeah, Jaime Maussan says the Billy Meyer sex cult are really talking to aliens. I doubt it. 6, the photographs and videos of hoaxer Arturo Robles Gil. 7, the false stigmas latex cradle of Giorgio Bongiovanni. 8, the fraud of Jonathan Reed. Remember him, the fake doctor that Jimmy Church was trying to bring back from the land of hoax make believe. He was a fake doctor that had an alien in his freezer and shit. Oh, yeah, that was a good one. Number 9, the SETI message of 1974, Masan said was answered in Chilbotin's crop circle. That was a hoax. Number 10, the Metapec alien of Sarah Cuevas Tornell. That was another hoax. 11, alternative 3, falling on Mars. You remember we had Emily Louise here talking about alternative 3? Yeah, they never went to Mars. That was a hoax. Number 12, the extraterrestrial disc was the spirit mark when drilling a rock. 13, the message of Chilbotin crop circle and carving in Uzbekistan. 14, the Twin Towers UFO in New York in 2000 sci-fi The Blimp. 15, the UFO in Lomos de Chamza, 1997, that was created by CGI. 16, the alleged crash of a UFO with Aero Mexicano airplane, which was a hoax. Number 17, the Mexican Air Force FLIR flights are all oil well flames. Yeah, you remember that one? Looked pretty good, though, didn't it? It was oil wells off in the distance and thermal imaging. 18, the message in Hebrew on the slopes of Popocatépetl volcano. Yeah, that was fake. 19, the evidence of a wire or wireless opportunity rover on Mars. The evidence of a wire or wireless opportunity rover on Mars. That was fake. 20, the Totalis asteroid that would hit Earth. That was fake. 21, the Mars robot probes are leaving a trail of mud. Yeah, that was fake. 22, the doctored photos of the Alamo case. 23, the Victoria Sphere is not extraterrestrial, but Russian Cosmos 2267 satellite. So that was a misidentification, a hoax. 24, Spirit UFO captured over the skies of Mars. 25, the ET of Merida behind an eclectic postmaster, Jorge Guerrero, proved psycho-astrologer. 26, the condensation trails of aircraft are for Masan UFOs. 27, the flying horse, Urzi balloon, Masan said was real because it was moving the legs. 28, the cyber chaos that would change the world in the year 2000. 29, the extraterrestrial Liza computer is a very earthly alien. 30, the case of the penguin sitting on top of a tree. It's a penguin. 31, humanoid figure of a photograph of the probe Spirit on Mars, which was pareidolia. That was a hoax. 32, the video plagiarism of kangaroo or chupacabras on YouTube. Yes, that was fake. 33, the Maraca Ruiz UFO of Alvin, Texas, a fraud made with CGI. 34, Spirit rover Masan said were Martian snails. NASA excerpts is a spring. Masan says lights of airplanes from the Chilean Air Force are UFOs. The Sidonia humanoid face on Mars. That was fake. Masan supported the Santilli film of the alien autopsy hoax. Of course he did. So the strange creature alien baby of Metapac proved to be a squirrel monkey. The topic UFO recorded with a cell phone by Carlos Medina. MUFON exposed this hoax in the Discovery Channel. 40, the Ebenes non-identified biological entities balloons daily recorded by very well-known hoaxer Arturo Robles Gil. Masan attacked MUFON for being exposed as a fraud promoter in the Discovery Channel. Masan said that UFO was chasing a plane. It was a sun's glare on a B-737 wingtip or winglet. 43, the yellow UFO expelling spheres recorded by 2 witnesses, Masan's gang members. This is a CGI video. UFO closer to Petty volcano is a CGI photograph. So there we have and that was the alien mummies of Peru was probably the worst one because there Jaime Maussan was essentially supporting grave robbers who were robbing graves of bones and tissue and then gluing them and plastering them together to make them look like an alien. Really very respectful of the dead. This guy is willing to do anything to sell a fake story. And now Ryan Graves has just jumped in bed with him. Great job, Ryan Graves. This will do wonders for your credibility and the credibility of your organization. You just hitch your wagon to this guy's hoax parade. Congratulations. You're going to be part of the hoax parade, Ryan Graves. Any credibility Ryan Graves may have had left is now gone, completely and totally gone, because no one who was serious about the subject of UFOs or anything for that matter would hitch their shit wagon to this shit peddler. But this is where we're at. They go where the money goes. It doesn't matter if somebody's been caught over 40 times pushing a completely and totally fake story. If Ryan Graves can make a couple UFO dollars, he's going to do it. He's just going to do it, friends. And that's the way that this world of UFOs works. You got to follow the money. Jaime Maussan's a big earner with these fake stories. He's been at this for decades selling fake stories. I guess Ryan Graves is going to jump on the UFO hoaxer gravy train and make some money too. Congratulations, Ryan Graves. You work for a shit peddler now. All right. Now, I thought we would do a review of some things. So I just want to show you Linda Moulton Howe's channel. Because that's one of the best examples that I can think of being caught in a completely and totally fake story and still continuing to sell fake story to the tune of thousands and thousands of dollars. I can't believe that she is continuing this. Okay, so I'm just going to share my screen because I want to show you some view counts. Here we have the Earth Files YouTube channel. And we can see that here's one of the broadcasts. She did 4 broadcasts about this supposedly extraterrestrial. That was, of course, a completely and totally fake story. She even brought in a remote viewer to view the death of the alien on the table that was completely and totally fake. And he came up with a whole story about it. But one of the things that's interesting is she got over 112,000 views. Now, this YouTube ad revenue is calculated by CPM, and it's different for every channel, but it's a fair thing to say that most people on YouTube with monetized videos will make somewhere between $5 and $10 per 1,000 monetized views. So in her case, she made 4 videos, which means she made 4 videos that got over 100,000 views about these completely and totally fake pictures of aliens. And by the way, we busted that. Here, I will, I should have a visual aid. I apologize. One second. Let me see if I can find it. It's been a while since we covered that story, but I believe I still have some of the bumpers of the Linda Moulton Howe totally fake story. Yeah. Here is the complete and total fake pictures. And remember, she brought in the Men in Black to try to explain this one away. They were 3D rendered fake photos. And we got some in progress photos from the artist. In other words, like while he was still making it. Here. So Linda tried to, she came up with this whole four videos, I think 2-hour videos. And by the way, she's an old lady. She just wasted 8 hours of her life talking about a completely and totally fake story. But don't worry, she didn't waste her time because she was earning money with that time. Now, if we are to be fair, and we'll calculate the CPM for how much money she's making per 1,000 videos on the low side and call it $5, that means that Linda Moulton Howe made at least $2,000 from this completely and totally fake story. 100% completely and totally fake story. We busted the story. In fact, I'm going to show you one more piece just to show you how fake and stupid and ridiculous this story is. And remember, she's up to at least $2,000, somewhere between $2,000 and $4,000 for this completely and totally fake story where she said, these are real pictures of aliens. They were fake pictures of aliens. And a well-trained monkey could have found out that these were fake pictures of aliens. But somehow, Linda and her entire staff, she has an entire staff, don't know how to do a reverse Google image search.
No gray is gray in color. Even drone engineered grays like this four-fingered hand in this photo are pale in color, similar to human skin. And notice the long, dark fingernails of this being. Linda, in your book, An Alien Harvest, on page 59, you quote abductee Judy Doherty describing two gray entities that were dissecting tissue from a mutilated calf taken from a pasture outside Houston, Texas in May of 1973. Quote, Judy wrote, their hands look funny. They have long claw nails, almost like an animal's dark nails. The original tall grays used this same nanotechnology for similar reasons, but seldom use it while in space traveling, nor did they use it while evolving in their home system of Epsilon Indi due to lower gravity there. The original grays from Epsilon Indi have a very slight tint of orange in their pigmentation.
So, $2,000 to $4,000 from one completely and totally fake story about aliens. So imagine how many stories that somebody like Linda Moulton Howe can do in a year. Can she do 100 stories? Can she do 200 stories in 1 year, in 1 year's time? If she does broadcasts weekly or daily or whatever, we can quickly see that if you want to be a UFO grifter and sell completely and totally fake stories about UFOs and aliens, you can make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. You just got to keep pumping them out, right? And one other, this is a great example because Linda Moulton Howe's all four, or maybe five, to the best of my knowledge, 4 or 5, 100,000 plus monetized YouTube videos are all still up on her channel. Still, I'm sure they're not getting as many views as when they were brand new, but she's still earning a little bit of ad revenue. And isn't it great that Linda Moulton Howe can continue to suck ad revenue out of YouTube for a completely and totally busted fake story? Where did you notice that part in the clip we played? She labeled it actual photograph of an orange gray alien. No, they weren't real pictures. They were completely and totally fake. We tracked down the original artist. He did them for a blog series, a fictional blog series. a story about the Men in Black in Argentina and South America. They were completely and totally fake. We even interviewed that artist who only spoke Portuguese, and that became a whole thing, but we wanted to bring you the truth behind that story, and we did. The story was completely and totally fake. But isn't it great that Linda Moulton Howe can continue to collect money for that completely and totally fake story, even after we busted it as completely and totally fake? And yet, 2 minutes into our broadcasts, our videos are demonetized. Before I've even said a word, we're getting demonetized here. And yes, I can click the review, but it takes 5 days for them to do the review. So by the time they turn the ads on, we make nothing. It's just a great system. And to that end, I just want to remind you idiots, there's a lot of stupid people in the world who say, well, Steve Campion's a grifter too, and his grift is to be the skeptic guy. Oh, come on, you dummy. If I wanted to make money, wouldn't I just go full true believer mode and sell fake stories? I can find pictures of aliens from video game covers. By the way, Linda Moulton Howe did that before this hoax. And those videos are still up, right? Still monetized, and they're still on her, behind her paywall website that you got to pay $5 a month or whatever it is to go look at pictures of a genuine alien taken on the moon. It came from a goddamn video game cover. Wasn't no picture, no genuine alien. I'm sick of these grifters making all of this money. And meanwhile, anybody that's trying to do this the honest or ethical way, you get both your knees blown out, right? Yeah, good luck getting income for your show telling people the truth about the UFO grift. We'll just turn all your ads off, but we'll leave the ads on for all the grifters selling the fake stories. That's perfectly acceptable, perfectly okay with us. But how dare you tell people the truth and expose these hoaxes, these false narratives, these disinformation attempts by UFO profiteering hucksters and whores. And one other example that comes to mind is Ross Coulthart. We just finished covering that completely and totally fake story. You remember the Patchgate story, right? Isn't it great that that story, too, can get completely and totally blown apart as fake? Currently, Mr. Bruce, Bryce, whatever, the Zabel guy, his grift partner, and him have a show called Need to Know. And what you need to know is they're garbage peddlers that sell fake stories for cash, for money. Their monetized video with Ross telling a completely and totally provably fake story, 100% fake, is still monetized and up on YouTube, nearing 90,000 monetized views. So if we want to be kind to Ross Coulthart and his grift partner Bryce Zabel, and just say that they got $5 per 1,000, could be between 5 and 10. They already made somewhere between $500 and $1,000, most likely, for this one fake story. Now, that's a lot of money, if you ask me. $500 to $1,000. Some of you work all week and don't make that, myself included. Sometimes I work all week and I won't make that, not take home, right? And not after expenses and taxes too. But isn't it great that some people have found a way around the system and they can just grift and grift and grift with these completely and totally false stories? Before this one, there was another story, the Big Bluff, I called it, the story about Jim's balls, where they said they had conclusive proof of alien technology, all confirmed by Michio Kaku in the promos. They didn't have any evidence whatsoever. That one got hundreds of thousands of views. So Ross Coulthart likely made thousands and thousands of dollars on that fake story. And these people have no shame. You would think they would be a little more careful when selling a completely and totally fake story going forward so that they don't look like grifting slime balls, but they don't. They just keep come right back with another fake one. And this, of course, is why I'm so skeptical of the Grush story. After all, we're going to be we are approaching 90 days since Grush's coming out party. right? And 90 days, no evidence of his claims so far. So how long are we going to wait on promises that there's plenty of evidence? Oh, he gave the evidence to Congress. It's classified. Look, somebody would leak it. Nobody's leaked it. There is no evidence. Or the evidence is piss poor, like Ross Coulthardt's Patchgate story or some of these other grifters' fake stories. I wanted to go over, I have an entire list here. Now, Lou Elizondo is a person who's made lots of UFO dollars. Remember, he left a lucrative job at the Pentagon thinking that he would really cash in, and he did. Got a very lucrative television show deal on the History Channel. He got money. I'm assuming he got some money as an employee or something, or in TTSA, the techno scam, where they scammed everybody out of all the investor money, promising them a spaceship and delivered nothing. He gets money from that, I'm assuming. And whatever happened to TTSA? Well, according to Lou Elizondo, Tom DeLonge wasted all the money on a movie that had nothing to do with their intended mission. So they took millions of dollars of investors' money, and then Tom DeLonge just spent it on, like a what you would call what is that called when the project is a vanity project? A vanity project. He made a movie and like recreated stuff from his hometown. I think it's like called Hollywood Monsters. It's not even out yet, but the trailer looks like trash. And they spent everybody's investor money on that. They're not going to get that money back because that movie is trash. So sorry to all the people that invested money in TTSA and believed in Lou Elizondo and Christopher Mellon and all the other CIA spooks on the board of TTSA. They all got screwed. Nobody got their money back. Nobody made any money on their investment. You can't even get your original money back. Let's say you gave them $1,000. You can't get it back. People have tried. The grift goes on, friends. Lou Elizondo then goes on to get book deals and big money paid speaking deals, right? And he's the hero for GQ. The man ran a Pentagon UFO program in the land of make-believe in his own imagination. He is not who he claimed to be. He lied to the New York Times, or misled the New York Times at the very best, lying about the program being official, the program having $22 million funding, him being the director. He's the director in the land of make-believe, because he had no assigned responsibilities at all with the Pentagon revolving around UFOs. Mostly he looked at office space. That was his job. What a boring guy, right? What do you do for a living? Well, I work for the Pentagon securing office space for expanding projects within the United States government. Wow, that sounds really exciting, right? Maybe, just maybe, he was sitting there bored out of his mind looking up UFO stuff on those government computers while he was supposed to be doing his real job. That doesn't make him the director of shit. He wasn't the director of anything. So, the grift goes on. Lou Elizondo will continue to collect money for, I think, forever. He's never going away. Lou Elizondo is like hemorrhoids. He's going to be here sucking every dollar he can out of you UFO losers for the rest of his life. Congratulations, Lou Elizondo is the hemorrhoids of UFOs. Oh, I should say he is the herpes of UFOs. He's never going away. You're never getting rid of him. He is the herpes of the world of UFOs, right? He got a little taste of the easy money. And by the way, they all do this. They come in here and they get a taste of how easy it is to make what most people make in a year in a few weeks or whatever, doing a documentary project or doing a UFO convention or doing TV shows. They see what that money is like. You don't expect them to get real jobs, right? And honest up and stop the grift, do you? We want to thank Zizix for a kind and generous $5. And for being a member. Thank you, Zizix, longtime show supporter, for your kindness, generosity, and support. And we definitely want to thank Free Bougainville for kind and generous £5 super sticker. Thank you for the kindness, generosity, and support. And I am furiously scrolling through my aggregated chat here, trying to make sure that we did not miss any others. If I did, I apologize. Feel free to remind me in all capital letters if I ever were to do that. Mike Rotunda is here. We'll take a few comments here. Says, don't ask Linda Moulton Howe any questions on her fake photo. She will be appalled. Who, me? How dare you, sir? Yes, it's hostile when you ask her about the fake stuff, right? Then Lizzie Borden says he's riding the herpes highway. It would be, yeah, it would seem, right? If Lou is the herpes of UFOs, then who is the clap? Well, I could think of a few people. I can think of a few people. Actually, all of these people should be associated with sexually transmitted disease, right? Kevin says herpes, the gift that keeps on giving. Yes. Lou's Clues made for some great clips, though. That dude had anger issues. Yeah, I would tend to agree. I would tend to agree. Elizondo, I promise, baby, it's just a cold sore. Gigi is here. Welcome, Gigi. Good is the clap. No, I think good is straight out AIDS. He'll kill you. He's such a psychopath. He'll kill you or sue you, right? Jimmy Church is another one. Yeah, Church. That guy's pushed more hoaxes almost than Jaime Maussan, right? Yeah. So before we continue, I have some more to share with you on the disclosure dollars. We're following the money, just making sure that people are informed about just how much money these people are getting paid to push, in many cases, completely and totally fake stories. So if you're just joining us, you are watching Truthseekers. This is our special report. Disclosure dollars follow the money. We want to thank all of you for being here, especially our wonderful new friends. We're making many new friends over on pill.net. These are our new distribution partner, and it is a free speech network for everyone, but also looking for new content creators. I know that Guerrilla Gamer signed up. I believe that Raised by Giants is over there now. Sheila Aliens and MK Ultra are over there as well. Check it out. I highly recommend it. Just go to pill.net and sign up for an account. It's free. When they ask you who referred you, put in my name, Stephen Cambion. And if you are a content creator, send me your email address that you use to sign up or your profile ID, the link to your profile. And I'll send it along to those guys, Matt Brown and the team over at pill.net, and they'll flip the switch. And you too can become a content creator. One of the great things about being a content creator on pill.net is that it is instantly, you are monetized as soon as they flip the switch for you. And here's a short notice from pill.net, just a little bit more about it. What I can tell you is that I am a programmer and I see little bits of it's like they took all the best parts of different things, the best parts of Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and other sites and Discord and jammed them all together in a site called pill.net. Let's take a listen here.
Welcome to pill.net. We aren't just another social media platform. We are the home of free speech. Pill.net offers people a place to share their thoughts, ideas, and content without the threat of censorship. With live streaming, uploaded content, social media posting, and more, Pill.net goes the extra mile by introducing innovative features like mobile push notifications that keep you connected without relying on big tech app stores. These notifications allow creators to instantly alert their audience when they're live or have posted new content, ensuring that your message reaches the right audience at the right time. Plus, with monetization available from day one, you can turn your passion into earnings right from the get-go. Donations and subscription options make it easier than ever to earn income with your content. And it doesn't stop there. Pill.net is constantly evolving to meet your needs. Our updated direct messaging system makes it easier than ever for content creators to engage with people privately. Anyone can also go start their own group chats with friends. Pill.net is more than just a platform. It's a lively community where everyone's voice counts. Make your account today and let our team welcome you to Pill.net. Free speech lives here.
So there we have it. I highly recommend you check it out. They are a new distribution partner. So we're streaming every time we do a show. We're streaming to all of our usual platforms and also pill.net. And I have to say, from a streamer's perspective, as long as you can copy 2 links, if you're using StreamYard or OBS, you can get your stream online instantly. It's very, very simple. Some of the other alt video sites and streaming locations that we have tried, like DLive and Odyssey, were just kind of a nightmare to get it working. This is not the case, so you won't be pulling your hair out or aggravating yourself. If you can copy 2 links, you just hit post live stream, and then you copy the RMTP and the stream key and put them in the slots in your streaming software and click go live, and it just works. We're already making money over there too. We're praising the cash over there, and you can too. I highly recommend it. Check it out. So next, the next person we'll be talking about for the purposes of our discussion is David Wilcock. David Wilcock is everybody's favorite. He's my favorite new age UFO land, conspiracy land grifter, because this guy has absolutely no shame. He gets caught pushing completely and totally fake so-called government whistleblowers all the time. He sells bullshit ascension courses for $333. He makes millions of dollars off of selling one course. Millions and millions of dollars. By the way, I forgot to thank you, kind and generous super chatters, for helping us to praise the cash.
Praise the cash! 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 Praise you!
And we are definitely praising the cash over on pill.net already. And we want to thank them for being our new distribution platform and sponsors of our show here. They've asked me to send them content creators that I believe are good content creators. I'm trying to do that. If I haven't contacted you directly yet, either by phone or by email, reach out to me and I'll put you on my list to call and tell you about what I think are the benefits over there. So far, everybody that signed up is liking it so far. I see Raised by Giants is already streaming over there, and a few others are as well. Give it a try. And thanks to all of you for helping us to praise the cash. Now, David Wilcock has been grifting since grifting began, it seems. He began his career working for the woman, Carla Rucker, who created the Law of One material. He was basically her house bitch. Like, he would like clean the house and I don't know, do whatever she needed done. She was an old lady too. Anyway, after that, he ended up grifting along with Kerry Cassidy of Project Scamalot, also known as Project Camelot, and then went out to grift on his own, claiming to be the reincarnation of Edgar Cayce, Earth's greatest psychic and prophet, among other things. But lately, I suppose after the divorce, after giving most of his money away to a phony aeronautics company, which, by the way, is in very, very hot water now. 1 second here. Let me find this to share. Apparently, David Wilcock's scammy aerospace company, Stavati Aerospace, who we detailed before, was sued for investor fraud, for essentially lying about income that they didn't have to investors. They claimed that their income came from manufacture of aeronautics projects. No, that it doesn't. Their only income came from a dumpster company renting the hangar that David Wilcock apparently was so proud of. But let me share my screen here. They're in hot water again. Again, friends. Because apparently Stavati Aerospace, David Wilcock's scammy aerospace company that's been collecting investor money for, I think, decades and have never produced a single product or airplane for sale, or even a testable, flyable prototype. Remember, That's the company that's going to bring us anti-gravity hover cars somehow. Anyway, they promised the United States government that they would be creating jobs in order to get a great deal of tax breaks. And it turns out that they didn't create any jobs, to the best of my knowledge or recollection. Therefore, they are in trouble, apparently, or will be, with the United States government. Here, let me share this. So if you take the tax breaks and say, we're going to create these jobs, but then you don't create the jobs, I could be wrong, but my understanding of this is new jobs in Niagara County within 3 years. So they're supposed to create 63 jobs with a total annual payroll at the end of year 3 of $50 million. That's what they told the government in order to get these tax breaks that they would be getting. To the best of my knowledge, they have not created jobs. Certainly not 63 jobs totaling $50 million in total annual payroll. And they didn't create jobs in management. They didn't create jobs in professional. They didn't create jobs in administration. And they certainly didn't create jobs in production, because they have no airplanes that are currently being manufactured. All they have is G.I. Joe toys that were 3D printed by a plastic 3D printer, like anybody can buy on Amazon for a few $100s. They called those prototypes. They have no flying prototypes. So they took all these tax breaks. David Wilcox Scammy Aerospace Company did. And you can see the hangar pictured in this picture. That's currently being rented by a dumpster company who, I'm not sure if they're storing full dumpsters and garbage in there, but I know they're storing dumpsters there. That's their only income source, not, as they were telling investors, we make money from selling aircraft products. They have no aircraft products. Their only income is from a dumpster company. A trash company rents out their hangar. Great. So David Wilcox Scammy Aerospace Company in hot water again. You may also remember that David Wilcox had, I believe at one time, he had a $75,000 IRS tax lien, and he's always crying that he needs money to pay his taxes. So David Wilcox has made millions upon millions of dollars. His last scammy course, he promised that he would teach you the secrets of free energy and anti-gravity. And after you took his course, you'll be able to do it too. But sadly, no one was able to create free energy after taking David Wilcox's course. Sadly, no one was able to create anti-gravity after taking David Wilcox's course. I believe that that is a form of fraud, and we are following up on that. I don't believe that David Wilcox should be able to just straight lie through his teeth and charge people $333 for a bunch of cobbled together gobbledygook nonsense that he got from the internet. But this is where we're at, and this is where we find ourselves. And then we can also talk for a moment about Corey Goode, who some of you may be aware of, made millions upon millions of dollars for the past 8 or more years, telling complete and total fairy tales about the secret space program he claimed to be a part of. Yet, when Corey Goode was placed under oath and asked had he ever been to space, he said no. So how is he a secret space program insider who's going on space missions if under oath he has to admit that he's never been to space? It would appear that Corey Goode has made millions upon millions of dollars selling completely and totally fake Buck Rogers science fiction fantasy made up stories about the secret space program. And we know they were made up because he admitted under oath that he made up stories about the secret space program. What we see from these people is a complete and total lack of ethics. After all, an ethical person would not lie to people every day for 8 years, even to make millions of dollars. But this is where we're at, and this is where we find ourselves. Next, we'll be talking about Stephen Greer, who is perhaps the most financially successful UFO grifter ever. Mr. Greer has made millions upon millions of dollars and charges exorbitant fees to attend his live events, sometimes $10,000 or more to attend a single event. Mr. Greer has constantly crowdfunded, claiming that he needs $500,000 to make a film. And then if you look at the films he makes, show them to any documentary film producer and ask them, is this a $500,000 film? And they'll all say no, at least the ones I've checked with, because what you get for the $500,000 that everybody is giving Stephen Greer is a couple of interviews, him sitting somewhere talking, and a bunch of stock video that you can get for $20 a month through Envato Elements or whatever. These are not $500,000 films. So my question is always, what is he doing with the rest of the money? Okay, 10 or 20K might have been used to make this documentary, maybe. And honestly, I think that's a stretch, but we'll give him 10 or 20K was used to make the documentary. Is he just pocketing $480,000 every time he crowdsources a film? And by the way, he did it 3 or 4 times so far. 3 or 4 times so far, collected $500,000 or more dollars. I believe the Sirius documentary, he crowdfunded to even more than that. You may also be aware that Dr. Stephen Greer once collected, to the best of my knowledge and recollection, $500,000 for a charity group that he wanted to do called the Orion Project. And the point of the Orion Project was everybody gives Stephen Greer a whole lot of money, and he was going to create a free energy device and then open source it to the world and save the planet. And then we got shit. He didn't deliver anything, but he kept the $500,000. So I'd like to know, what did he spend the $500,000 on? Because he didn't deliver on any of his promises that he was making while he was collecting all of that money. High speaking fees, YouTube ad monetized videos where he's lying through his teeth, saying things like, I briefed every president since Ronald Reagan about UFOs and aliens. No, he didn't. And we checked into him, friends. We started fact checking his ridiculous claims. One of his other claims that I love is that several members of his team got murdered. Well, if you check into the actual history, what you'll find is a few people that worked with Stephen Greer died of natural causes. And in at least one case, their families are not real happy that Stephen Greer is running around telling people they were murdered by the men in black who were trying to cover up the aliens. What we see from these people is just a scummy lack of any ethics. You have somebody die that worked for you, you don't turn that into a grift, but Stephen Greer did. And he's made monetized YouTube videos telling people that people on his team got murdered to cover up secrets about the aliens. Come on. Why should he be allowed to lie through his teeth? By the way, in those cases he's talking about, there's no murder investigations, there's no open investigation, there's no thoughts of foul play, right? If somebody got murdered, there'd be a murder investigation, right? Oh, don't worry, do some mental gymnastics and bring in the men in black. Oh, the men in black covered up the murder, so they didn't investigate it. Sure, but there's a thing. There's autopsy reports. Show us the autopsy reports. Prove to us. Show us how these people were murdered. They weren't. One died of cancer, which is tragic. And, I have sympathy for them and their family, especially if you die younger than you should from something like cancer. But cancer is cancer. Cancer happens. And normal people don't take a tragedy like an employee of theirs dying young of cancer and turn it into a grift. But Stephen Greer always got the grift knob up to maximum. He got that grift knob up to 11, Stephen Greer does. And the grift goes on. Next, we'll talk about George Knapp and Jeremy Corbell. George Knapp and Jeremy Corbell have made millions upon millions of dollars, pushing, in many cases, provably 100% fake stories. George Knapp famously got a book deal claiming that the book was based on all this evidence, and then on Joe Rogan famously had to admit there is no evidence. I'm pretty sure that was a very lucrative book deal for him, since he got to promote it on Joe Rogan and everywhere else. He probably made $1 million just from that book. George Knapp lives a very expensive lifestyle if you were to look into him. He's got a young, hot wife, and young, hot wives like mansions and indoor pools and expensive shit. So George Knapp's got to keep the grift going to keep that young, hot wife of his real happy, right? Because he sure ain't making her happy in the sack, if you know what I mean, right? That's probably too much information. And by the way, I didn't hear anything. The most famous story, of course, that George Knapp and Jeremy Corbell have made the most money from has been the Bob Lazar story, which is a completely and totally fake story about a so-called former government scientist who worked on alien spacecraft at Area 51. There's just one problem. Bob Lazar's entire story falls apart completely and totally under scrutiny. First of all, he never worked for the government. Second of all, he was never a scientist. He was a fake scientist, imposter, pretending to be a scientist. He was not now, nor has he ever been a scientist. Science nerd, sure. Hobbyist science nerdy guy, sure. But he wasn't a scientist, because in order to become a scientist, you need a degree in science. He has no degrees in science. He graduated in the bottom third of his class. He couldn't have got into MIT or Caltech or any of these other places. His education's completely and totally fake. Further, Bob Lazar would never have been given clearance to work on any secret base, given that at the time he claimed that his story happened, his wife was a convicted murderer with very strong ties to organized crime in the form of the Hells Angels. In fact, she had gone to prison for murder and then got out. They also declared bankruptcy shortly before Bob claims to have gotten the job working at Area 51. Friends, ask anybody about secret projects, USAPs, SAPs, whatever, within the United States government and the black world. If you have financial problems and your wife is a convicted murderer with very strong ties to organized crime, remember, this would be the height of the Cold War. You're not getting anywhere near any government secrets. But George Knapp and Jeremy Corbell would have us believe that the story's true. George Knapp and Jeremy Corbell have been caught lying over and over and over again. They claimed Bob Lazar had a particle accelerator in his bedroom. Go ask a physicist. That's impossible. You can't have a particle accelerator in a goddamn bedroom. The entire story falls apart. Of course, George Knapp claims he knows where the element 115 is, and someday he's going to show it to us. Well, wouldn't that bring disclosure? Shouldn't he have brought it to that UFO hearing and throw it down and said, there's the proof of the aliens, bitches? But he didn't. You know why? Because he lies a lot. Just like he lied about the Skinwalker Ranch stories, the smoking dogs, right? Smoking dogs and werewolves and shit. George Knapp and Jeremy Corbell are garbage peddlers. But what you need to know about them is that they both are millionaires from selling garbage. And next, of course, we have Ryan Graves and Gary Nolan. Ryan Graves has his own organization, and he's trying to get, we saw that earlier, he's trying to get funding from the United States government to work on the UFO issue and provide safe aerospace for all Americans or all people. I think they want to work for foreign governments as well. Ryan Graves came out of nowhere with a super monetized podcast with access to all the top tier UFO grifters to come on his show, getting huge monetized views talking about the so-called reality of UFOs. But the reality is that Ryan Graves never saw anything with his own eyes, and he is absolutely terrible at identifying things. And we know that because he has misidentified things as Starlink satellites. Then he cried and complained, that it wasn't Starlink satellites. Mick West more or less proved that these guys are misidentifying Starlink satellites as something more than they are. It's not aliens, it's Starlink satellites. The other UFO that Ryan Graves talked about was a circle, a square inside of a circle, which directly matches many radar reflectors. But he claims they weren't radar reflectors. They must have been aliens. Okay. The fact that all of these guys have multiple income streams from UFOs should make everyone extremely cautious when evaluating any of the so-called information that they present. I don't believe that any of this is about disclosure. They fool these true believer idiots into thinking that they're fighting and battling for disclosure, right? But all they're really battling for is to put as many UFO dollars in their pockets as they can. Remember, Gary Nolan, of course, has his organization, the Soul Foundation, which we previewed a little bit earlier. And that, of course, is another organization that wants to get government contracts. Oh, yes, somebody's being a smart aleck now. Hold on, let me show this. This is funny. We want to thank Richard Crawley for a kind and generous $6.99 Canadian, who says, "For your son for winning the weekend." Yeah, he's never going to let me forget it. And you know what's funny is I told him that I was going to take one of the pictures of him from catching the fish and make a nice picture and put it in a frame and hang it at the cabin, so he'd always remember his first weekend fishing successfully. We tried to fish before and we were terrible at it, but I didn't know there was no fish in the pond. Somebody forgot to tell me that. And he was so excited. He said, "You got to make 2 pictures, Dad." I said, "2? Why 2?" He said, "Because you got to hang it at home too." He was so excited. Does everybody remember, if you've ever been fishing as a child, that first time, that excitement of reeling that first fish in? It's exhilarating, and I was so glad to be there with him. Thank you, Richard Crawley, for your kindness, generosity, and support of the show. It is much, much appreciated. Longtime show supporter Richard Crawley, who is helping us to praise the cash. And we've got Robert Redmond from the Clip Channel. Kind and generous $5, says, "Stephen, spitting the facts. Thanks for what you do, Stephen." No, thank you. Thank you both, Richard and you, Robert, for helping us, of course, to praise the cash. Praise the cash, all you guys. Thank you.
Praise the cash, praise the cash, praise the cash, yeah. Praise the cash, praise the cash, praise the cash, yeah. Praise it, praise it.
Thank you very much. Much, much appreciated. And we'll take a moment to check in with our PayPal pledger friends, just to make sure we didn't miss those. For those unaware, we read and thank every single person that sends a super chat. We read them. We thank you. If you send a PayPal pledge, just be sure to add a note and give us your PayPal user ID. 1 second. We want to thank Mikey from the United Kingdom for a kind and generous $2.50 PayPal. Thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support of the show. Incredibly generous of you. Thank you so much, Mikey. And we want to thank Maria, a longtime show supporter now, for a kind and generous $50 PayPal. Thank you for kindness, generosity, and support. And also thanks to you people who are, if you're going to send big bucks, please send it through PayPal, because YouTube keeps, I don't know, was it 35% now or something? Maybe more. But PayPal only takes a very tiny percentage. So if you're going to send something large like $250 or $50, if you're going to send a big amount like that, please send it through PayPal so that we get to keep more of it. And we appreciate all of you either way, but we appreciate when you guys send the big ones to do it over on PayPal. We want to thank Sarah P. from Australia, who says, "I agree with you. Ross Coulthard is a garbage peddler." Thank you for kindness, generosity, and support. What is that? $20. Thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support. Thanks to all you guys for helping us to praise the cash, including you channel members, you YouTube subscribers, YouTube channel members, I should say. subscribers, and more. And if you are a Patreon supporter or a YouTube channel member, I'm making a video on the new set so you'll get sort of the first view of the new set. And for those unaware, I'm sitting looking at that set that I showed you earlier with the couches and the new desk. So eventually this will be like the producer's desk, I guess. And we've got the set ready. I just have to wire the cameras, the lights, and whatever. I'm going to start on that tonight. So we're going to try to keep tonight's show brief. We want to take some comments and questions from the live chat. Kevin says, the fish didn't get the memo to meet you at the pond. Happens to me all the time. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't believe it too, because the first night we went to the pond and he got a catfish. And it was his first cast. First cast in like 2 minutes. Boom, he got a catfish. And then we went to it's called Goldsboro State Park in Pennsylvania. And they got a huge lake. And they stocked that lake with all kinds of fish. He caught 2 little sunfish. They were small, but it was exciting for him nonetheless. I couldn't believe it. I got nothing at the pond. I got nothing at the lake. And I was standing right next to him, fishing with him. And, baiting his hooks and helping him. But he did great. And I think now I got a fishing buddy, because I used to go by myself before him. I couldn't really take my autistic son. He wouldn't pay attention or sit there. He would lose his mind if you try to make him sit there and fish for an hour or something. So, we have to pick activities that he'll actually do. He won't fish. I used to go fishing myself. Now I got a fishing buddy. And that'll be good. So if you guys put any questions or comments for me, please put them in all capital letters. Archaic Revival is here holding down the Twitch chat, says, I need to watch at work tomorrow. I was negotiating a used car deal. Oh, good luck with that. I hate it when I need a car. I absolutely hate it. Kevin says, YouTube taking 35%. Yeah. It's a big chunk. And then remember, then I have to pay taxes, 30% on top of the, So Kevin, first YouTube takes 35%. So let's say you get $100. YouTube takes 35%. That leaves, $65, right? So then you got to pay 30% taxes on the $65. So for $100 super chat, you might keep $50 if you're lucky. Yeah, but it is what it is. 3 things cannot be avoided, or 2 things, death and taxes. But then, of course, YouTube taking their cut is 3 to me. It can't be avoided. We're thankful to have the funds, even though I do think it's a little excessive taking 35%. And as these alt media sites, including Rumble and Pill.net now, start to begin to take off, I think that YouTube's going to have to lower that, or they're going to have a real problem with people just going over to Rumble or going over to Pill.net or an alternative, because they don't want to give 35% of their income to the host. Buzz Bomber is here. BuzzBomb7445 is here, says, in my humble opinion, fishing is good for the soul. I think that it is. Yeah. I go fishing even in the winter. We get the awl out and drill a hole. We go ice fishing. And you do great in the winter because they're hungry. There's no food, B. Baker says, oh, that's awful. Sorry that hope. And Louis Caetano's cars. Are you having car trouble? I hate car trouble. And I, even more than that, I hate when I need to buy a car. I've never bought a new car in my life. I consider it a depreciating asset. It's transportation to me. I did have a period in my life where I liked having a fancy car. I had a Corvette. It's sitting in my driveway, rotting. Haven't done anything with it. I keep saying I'm going to sell it, but there's some issues with it that I have to deal with before I could sell it. I hate it when I have to get a car because it takes forever. Everybody wants huge money now for vehicles too. Midwest says Linda Moulton Hale looks like she had a trouble hook snagged in her mouth just before she fell down a flight of stairs on her way to collect another piece of alien spacecraft. Well, there's a visual for you, right? Archaic Revival. I used to enjoy a nice grilled trout, but I'm vegetarian these days. Well, sorry to hear it. I'm not. Trolly Troll, try fishing for crappie. They are fun to catch. I don't like catching. Is it catfish to have the barbs? I was super nervous taking the hook out of that catfish over the weekend, but managed to get it out. That's not something that I enjoy. The getting the hook out of the fish, you know. You guys are buying the wrong Dodge pickup trucks. I got the shorted sports model with tune. Not one problem. Only replace brakes and tires. Is that four-wheel drive? I want to get a four-wheel drive truck, taxpayer. I could really use a four-wheel drive truck. Dealers don't have car inventory now. Everything is on back order. Yeah, so I hear. I don't know. You know, one of the things that pisses me off too is that this vehicle I have now is probably one of the nicer cars that I've had. Normally I get a piece of trash, just whatever. I don't care what it looks like. I don't care if it's dented, as long as it runs good and is reliable. But this car that I got, it's a Mazda 5, was in pretty good condition when I got it. And so far I've been hit in a parking lot twice. And both times are like pretty big chunk hits. They weren't like a little, you know, a scratch on my bumper. They like busted the back quarter panel and busted the trunk lid is split now. You know, I don't know what kind of an idiot like smashes into your car in a parking lot and then just drives off. You know, I live in the suburbs in a very affluent area. Everybody's got insurance. Nope. Just drive off, and now I got a crappy looking car. Thanks, suburban idiot neighbors, right? You want to fight, go fishing for muskie. Muskie, I was just telling my wife this, Jewel Chicky Arlene, a muskie is the biggest fish I've ever caught in my life and was the most exciting to me. I like them and swordfish. Occasionally, I haven't in years, but I used to go deep sea fishing. And my favorite fish in the deep sea to catch is a swordfish. I don't know why. It's just awesome. And they're fighters too. So you really got to reel that sucker in, you know? Mark Toronto reminding everybody, if you like Steven's work, please like, share, and subscribe. Watch another one of his videos. Everything helps. Yes, it does. And thank you for that, Mark. You got to watch out for the dorsal fin on the catfish. All right. Yeah. I don't know. You know what I did? I put it on the ground. I stepped on it, and then I pulled the hook out, and then we grabbed him by the tail and threw him back in because it's catch and release at the pond near the cabin. But, well, let's just say it's supposed to be catch and release at the pond at the cabin. But, you know, there are some people that aren't doing too well that live in that area and have access to that pond. Some people catch the fish and eat them. They need the meat. And I don't begrudge anybody. I've seen people carrying buckets of fish that they caught at that pond back to their place. There's a lot of older veterans and senior citizens that live in there because it's a cheap place to live. You know, so I don't care. I mean, it's supposed to be catch and release, but if you're hungry, take as many fish as you can out of that pond. It's stocked, so there's lots of fish in that pond. It's kind of like, when it's fully stocked like this, it really is like fish in a barrel, though. I don't think it's very challenging. The lake over at Goldsboro State Park is a little more challenging. It's a bigger lake, too, so there's bigger fish in there. Use chicken livers for catfish. I've never heard that. I have never heard that. Never. That's weird. You can use chicken livers for bait? I've used chicken for bait for crabbing, but never for fishing. Oh, well, we did once because we didn't have any worms. We didn't catch anything. We had like leftover chicken from chicken kebabs. That didn't work out too good for us, but you know, it is what it is. Oh, and you know what? I am forgetting to remind everybody that we are a viewer-supported show. And we want to thank everybody for that kindness, generosity, and support of the show. We really, really appreciate all of your kindness, generosity, and support. I'll be continuing. I've got a little more time to share, so we'll take more comments and questions from the live chat. But first, let me remind you that the show is not over. We'll be right back after this short message about how you, too, can support the show.
Truthseekers is a viewer-supported show. Wonderful people like you who enjoy this show send pledges in the form of super chats, super stickers, super thanks, PayPal, or Cash App. Instructions for how to help are in the description. You can also join our Patreon, and for as little as $1 a month you can get extra content. Patreon supporters get a backstage pass, early access to all our production videos before they are distributed publicly, Stephen Campion's music, private writings, a monthly show journal, and more. You can also become a YouTube channel member for $5 a month. A YouTube membership includes all of the Patreon benefits, plus a special members badge, priority reply to video comments, and the live chat, plus a monthly members-only video. We thank you all, kind and generous benefactors, for supporting Truth Seekers. Thank you for your generosity and support. Truth Seekers is a viewer-supported show. Now there's a great way to support these broadcasts and show your support. Please be sure and check out our merchandise store. Links to our 2 merchandise online stores are in the links to this video or podcast. The Amazon storefront ships super quickly in the United States, Great Britain, and in many more places. Amazon may not ship to your country or location. If that's the case, hit our second merchandise link in the description and visit our Redbubble storefront. Merchandise from our Redbubble storefront ships worldwide, but may take longer than Amazon. We've got a great deal of super high quality merchandise for you to choose from, including t-shirts, phone cases, sweatshirts, and even pillows. The feedback from our products have been overwhelmingly great. Quality products and fast shipping. People all over the world are buying some merchandise and showing their support of the show. Praise the cash! Praise the cash! Praise the cash! We thank you all, kind and generous benefactors, who are buying some merchandise and helping us to continue this journey. Thanks for being here. This is Truth Seekers with your host, Stephen Campion. Please rate, like and comment on our videos or podcasts. If you are listening to an audio podcast, please rate us 5 stars to help us rise in the search rankings. If you are watching on YouTube, please like, comment and subscribe to our channel. If you're listening to an audio podcast, we love and appreciate you listeners, but you are missing the live tapings. All our shows are recorded live with video feed. We'd love you to come be a part of our live broadcasts and tapings for the podcast. Head on over to YouTube, click the search tool, the little magnifying glass, put Truth Seekers, one word in the search bar, and hit enter. You'll see a strange and mysterious guy with sunglasses. That means you found the channel. Go there, smash the subscribe button and hit the notification bell to receive up-to-date info on our YouTube channel. We welcome you to be a part of our live taping and our chat room during the live broadcasts. Seek the truth. Speak the truth. This is Truth Seekers. Truth Seekers. Truth Seekers.
All right, there we go. We are back. We'll take some comments, a few more comments and questions from the live chat. B. Baker reminding everybody that you can join our Discord and chat with like-minded, interesting individuals 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And I'm in the Discord daily, taking part in the discussion. We invite all of you to come over there. Also, please be sure to follow me on Twitter at Stephen Cambion. I've noticed a big uptick in Twitter followers, I think due to that Ross Coulthart bigger story. We thank all of you new Twitter followers. Following me on Twitter is the best way to know about upcoming shows and special events. At Stephen Cambion. And we want to thank Robert Redman from the Clip Channel for becoming a member. If you become a member during a live broadcast, we give you a shout out. So shout out to Robert Redman. Thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support of the show. Becoming a YouTube channel member. If you become a YouTube channel member, you get some extra goodies, and you also get that channel member badge so people know you're a big supporter of the show. Priority reply in the chat and comments and more. And we thank all of you for helping to support our show. Somebody mentioned, oh yeah, Troll mentioned this. Stephen is right. Chicken backs make great crab bait. Troll. My dad used to get necks and backs, and then we would just have this spool of string, each of us, me, my brother, and my dad. And we would tie the neck or the back to the string and just put it over the side of the boat, wait a few minutes, and then pick it up. And there'd be a crab on there trying to eat it. And then we put it into the basket and drop it again. And we could catch, a couple dozen crabs on one piece of bait. They don't really get too far before you grab them. We never used, well, no, that's not true. When we first started crabbing with my dad, we did use all these traps. Remember those traps, those metal traps, and they were like you would drop them down and they would open up when you dropped them all the way down to the bottom, and there'd be chicken and bait tied to the bottom of the trap. And then after a while, you would pull up the trap, which would close the trap and trap the crabs in there. The traps work okay, but we found it was easier to just put the string down into the water, into the bottom. And we went crabbing in Barnegat Bay, where the water's only like 4 feet deep, through the whole bay almost. So, yeah, we would tie off like around the whole boat. We only had this like little 12-foot aluminum rowboat with a motor on the back of it. But we would tie like 20 or 30 of these pieces of chicken and just drop them down. And then, we would just keep picking up the string. Do we got one? No, drop it back down. Do we got one? Yeah, drop them off, and then drop it again. We used to come home with bushels and bushels and bushels of crabs. And boy, troll, would I like to do that now, considering the price of crabs. But every year I say I'm going to go and summer runs out and I don't get to do it. Maybe next year, right? Mr. Ian reminding everybody we also have a new channel on pill.net. Yeah, and thank you for sharing that, Mr. Ian. So if you are signing up for pill.net, if you're not, I highly encourage you to do so. But if you did sign up for pill.net, make sure that you follow us over there so that you can keep up. We're going to be doing some pilled-only live streams, including Truthseekers Uncensored. Oh, and while we were on the subject of all the crybaby bitches, man, listen, I'm just going to say something and be very honest. Attractive women have been used to advertise things since humanity began, right? One good way to advertise and to grab somebody's attention is to have a picture of an attractive female in whatever you're trying to advertise. Or like if you have a commercial, have an attractive female read the commercial. So, we're not doing anything new here. We're not breaking new ground. But some crybaby soy boy bitches cried and complained over the use of this image and said that we're exploiting women. But I just want to point out that no women were exploited, because this is an AI image. So maybe we exploited an AI, but we didn't exploit women. And this is just one of the advertisements. By the way, we also did some advertisement with big muscular men advertising Truthseekers Uncensored. Nobody had any problem with that, but they had a problem with this because they're crybaby soy boy bitches, right? And simps. They like to white knight for women that they'll never bang anyway. And I just want to say, stop being a crybaby bitch. There's starving people in the world. There's a war going on in Ukraine. People are being murdered daily. People are being sex trafficked all over the world. Governments are oppressing people, jailing people as political prisoners. There is suffering and starvation. There are people suffering from massive drug addiction due to this opioid epidemic. And you're going to cry? You used a picture of a hot girl in your ad. How dare you? You crybaby bitches all need to get lives. Go complain about something important, because this is not a big deal. And we'll continue to use Hot Space Babes to advertise our show. And if you don't like Hot Space Babes, then go watch another show. But don't cry like a soy boy bitch, okay? Because we had dudes, big muscle bound dudes for the ladies too. Are we exploiting men in those? Are we dehumanizing men and treating men as sex objects in those images? Of course not. It's so stupid. And Mr. Ian says he takes requests. Yeah. The Sixth Sense says, wow, so graphic. It's not even a real person. Yeah. It's amazing. It's amazing. Maybe they were upset because they can't get a hot girl. No, I think so. I think some of these soy boys, they're what do they call that now? They call that an incel, involuntary celibate. Yeah, he wants to bang a hot chick, but he can't get one because he's a loser that cries on the internet about pictures of girls in their underwear, right? I just don't understand what the world's coming to. Mr. Ian wants to know if Lizzie's being exploited, because we did some hot AI images of her. I think she liked them. I don't know, right? If it was an ugly social justice warrior, they'd be fine with it. Yeah. If it was some slob, right? Some slob saying, like, you can't handle this or something. Some ugly, short-haired, manly-looking chick, they'd be fine with it. They'd be fine with it, B. Baker. They'd be totally fine with it. So questions or comments for me, please put them in all capital letters. And then Lizzie says, no, she's not being exploited. Yeah. There are weirdos out there that simp for the defense of cartoon anime girls. I know. It's just, that's just the world that we're coming to. I think that men need to man up. And, I personally cannot stand the term toxic masculinity. Listen, masculinity built our entire human society. Masculinity did. And there's nothing wrong with being masculine. It's part of being a man. Women want, or should want, a masculine man, because one of the reasons that men and women work well together as partners is because the man will use his masculinity to provide for the woman and protect her, shelter her. And that's a benefit to the woman, to have a manly man who could protect her and provide for her. So there's nothing wrong with masculinity. There's nothing wrong with it whatsoever. And masculinity built this country and most other countries. It takes a manly man to build bridges and roads and all these things. If you're going to complain about masculinity, then let's just go back to the Stone Age, right? And you could be a soy boy bitch and you won't reproduce or get a mate because you're a soy boy bitch, and the women are going to want a male protector. There's nothing wrong with being masculine. And I, for one, refuse to apologize for being masculine or doing masculine things. I think the world needs more masculinity. And that certainly doesn't mean that I support men doing shady shit to women. And that's another thing. Oh, Stephen Cambion disrespects women. He doesn't respect women. Bitch, I have been with the same woman in my life for like 25 years, So, that wouldn't happen if I wasn't respectful to her. She would beat the shit out of me, first of all. She would murder me in my sleep if I was mean to her, disrespectful to her. It's always good to live in a little bit of fear of your wife, right? And she could make me homeless instantly with a divorce or something and make me pay child support for the rest of my life. So it's good to have a little bit of friendly, fear of your wife. It keeps you in line as a man, right? Keeps you out of trouble. Patty says that's what's happening now. Folks are not having children. Yeah, they're putting it off and then maybe putting it off too far, right? Mr. Ian says, I too like a woman with good shoulders. They make strong children. Trolly Troll said, I had some really good soft shell blue crab served in a brown gravy with crawdads at a restaurant in Louisiana. Yeah, if you ever go to Louisiana, you gotta have the seafood. It is fantastic, right? A lot of incels believe in wacky conspiracy theories, says William Runner. Yeah, I could see that, right? Yeah, oh, there you go. That's a good example of how we try to be nice and kind to women. Steve had me on because he felt the guys didn't give me time on panel on his own. Yeah. Yeah. Thin Lizzie Borden was on our panel show, and all the men kept talking over her as much as I tried to give her time. I like provocative women that like poor middle-aged men. Well, that makes sense. Fear your wife and me and no one else. I'm much more afraid of her than you, dude. Many women chose their careers over childbearing. Yeah. And, it was not long ago in this country that a man could make a decent living for him and his entire family, and his wife didn't have to work. We screwed that up. Now everybody has to work. I almost know 0 one-income families. Everybody that I know, both the male and female in the relationship, both work. I would have loved to have had my wife stay home and just take care of the kids, but financially, it's very, very difficult to do that again. M Stone, as long as you don't get pegged. No, not a fan of that. Definitely not a fan of that. Try not to praise cash if you need it to survive. It's Sunderworld Babble. Some understandable. Okay, Jeff H. Whatever you say. Then Lizzie Borden says one income family here. Good for you. I couldn't make. Yeah, but you don't have any kids, Lizzie. Try doing that with children to feed. My kids eat like horses, man. I don't know, man. I'm gonna need a second job or something, because every time I look at them, and they've been home all summer with me, every time I look at them, they're chowing down on something. Cereal, bags of chips, cheese curls, crackers, cookies, graham crackers, cupcakes. We didn't have that kind of snack situation when I was growing up. We're lucky to have a bag of chips once in a while. And my dad was super cheap. So if they didn't sell it at the dollar store or in a no frills aisle, you didn't get it. Oh, Thin Lizzie says, my partner is a locksmith at the Denver airport. Well, that's interesting. Fur babies. Learned from 20 years together to trust my wife's instincts. She's usually spot on. Yeah. And Stone says, multiple streams of income are necessary now. Yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree. I definitely agree. Yeah, just fur babies. It's easier. Poly cheese sticks too. Yeah, they eat that stuff. And the Lunchables. My wife buys these huge things of Lunchables. I think Lunchables are gross. I don't know why kids love them so much, but they do. And honestly, I don't care. It's easier for me. I asked them, what do you want for lunch today? Do you want me to make French fries? Do you want me to make grilled cheese? Do you want hot dogs? We want Lunchables. Okay, lunch is done. I'm not going to argue with them. We go through Lunchables like crazy in this house. I only make $800 after taxes every 2 weeks, and I work 40 hours. Yeah, Yeah, I remember I was in the same situation when I had a corporate day job. I was lucky to clear 400 a week for a while until I started doing better, climbing that corporate ladder. But mostly in the corporate world, I was very successful at one thing: getting fired. Do you know, like everybody knows this at jobs, like where they do stuff that's just stupid and makes no sense. Like I would bitch about that stuff constantly. They don't like it. They don't like it. I was great at getting fired from corporate America. Steve, those Aussie bed scammers are back with a new show, Portal to Pleiadians. Oh boy, I'm gonna have to check it out. Thank you, Parsi X. I'll check it out. I had black pepper and garlic tofu and stewed cherry tomatoes for breakfast. I still destroy the wills of masculine men daily. Yeah, I don't know. I think there is something too with that soy thing. Like it does something to your testosterone levels if you eat too much of that. That's where the term soy boy comes from. Parsi X, I'm half a mind to call the cops with their fake medbed BS. Yeah, we were going to do that and have the police comment on how that's legal, but we never got around to it, which is why a lot of these grifters get off easy from us because I just run out of time working on a story and I just don't do the follow up. I'm the sole income earner, definitely a better situation if you can do it. Yeah, I'd love to have a woman just stay home and take care of me and my children. Children love Lunchables because they are easy to eat while doing other things, and the crackers are loaded with sugar. There you have it. There's the explanation. Here we are, hardworking, middle-class people, and those morons are charging $175 to go up in 5D to their med bed. Yeah, I'm going to check out their channel later. Maybe we'll do a new piece, and we will contact the Australian authorities. I have chronic pain. That's why I'm a retired hairstylist. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I wish Thin Lizzy lived near me because the one thing I miss from the city is barber shops. You know, the places around here that I've gotten my haircut are terrible. And I got to be on camera every day. I don't have to be beautiful, but don't screw me all up and make me look like really, really stupid. I kept getting cowlick cuts. That's all I could. That's all I could call it. Cowlick. They cut my hair in such a way that the back sticks up like this for 3 months until it grows long enough to go down. Not a good look for me. Travis says Lunchables are good. No, I don't think so. I tried them once when I was starving. I didn't feel like eating anything. I'm like, oh, I'll just eat one of these cheese and crackers. It'll be all right. No, but then again, I don't really like lunch meat, and that's half of the Lunchables. And my son even eats the pizza, which doesn't make any sense to me. It's like eating raw pizza. They just put the cheese and the sauce on this flour tortilla, and you eat it, and you don't cook it. I offer to cook it. He doesn't want to cook it. I'm like, okay, whatever. That and cold chicken nuggets. They have chicken nugget Lunchables. Amazing. Whatever happened to the Flowbee hair system? I remember that. Wasn't that? It was like you connected to your vacuum cleaner and you cut your hair with it. That's something else, right? Something else. Yeah. And we also want to make sure we give a shout out again to our new distribution partners. And that would be pill.net. We're doing great over there, streaming over there, along with our usual streaming locations. And so far, I've been really enjoying the site. It is a free speech network that's all about free speech. There's absolutely no censorship over there. And by the way, that's another complaint of people. Somebody who made that Rumble hit piece about me called me an anti-Trump woke loser or something, right? Like I'm a woke tard and I'm a Democrat. And that's supposed to be insulting, according to this person. But the truth is, I'm not a Democrat. And now other people are calling me a right-wing nut or a right-wing extremist who's a Q-tard and Trump supporter because we are broadcasting on pill.net. And I suppose there's a lot of Q people on there, and they lean heavily, I suppose, on the right side of the aisle. Everybody knows this. Oh, and first of all, you critics have to make up your mind. Either I'm a Democrat, communist, woke tard, anti-Trumper, or I'm a right-wing nut, extremist, Q-tard and Trump supporter. I can't be both. I can't be both. So which one of you critics is right? Like, it's like they just decide they don't like me, so I must be of the opposite political persuasion of them. No, I don't pick a side. Do you know why? Because both sides are criminals. Both sides are criminals. You don't get points for picking one side over the other. And that'll just show you how stupid the critics and the criticism is. You can't at the same time be both of those things. So figure it out. Pick, which one am I? Am I a big Q-tard Trump supporter? Or am I a communist Democrat woke-tard who hates Donald Trump? You know, which one is it? Yeah, it can't be both. You people all need to coordinate your attacks better. You know, get them grandma boy still images together or video clips. You know, I just, anyway, pill.net may lean right. I don't really care. Just like I don't care that YouTube leans left and I broadcast there. Rumble, I suppose, leans right and I broadcast there. Facebook leans left and I broadcast there. I don't care which slant a network that is distributing my show has. I don't care about their politics. I care about whether their platform will allow me to reach more viewers. Pill.net is certainly already proving to help me reach new viewers and earn an additional income stream every month for doing the same thing we're already doing. We're just broadcasting our show there as well now. So if you are intimidated by free speech or you find that to be a problem, because yeah, they don't monitor anything. People can go on there and say anything. That's free speech. And my advice is don't cry and complain to me, because I don't support anybody that is negatively impacting or attacking anybody on any social media platform. But that's a free speech platform. So if you disagree with what people are posting over there, then sign up and tell them how wrong they are. And then you can be a part of the free speech process. Free speech is a big, I'm a big supporter of free speech. And I, for one, prefer when ignorant, stupid people say things publicly, because then it identifies them as ignorant, stupid people. You may disagree and want these people to be hiding in the shadows or in Discord servers saying they're ignorant things. I'd like them to be right in the public square so you know who the stupid people are. And that's my opinion. As far as pill.net for content creators, I got to say it's been the easiest experience so far of any alt video platform. And here's a quick note about pill.net. You should give it a try.
Welcome to pill.net. We aren't just another social media platform. We are the home of free speech. Pill.net offers people a place to share their thoughts, ideas, and content without the threat of censorship. With live streaming, uploaded content, social media posting, and more, Pill.net goes the extra mile by introducing innovative features like mobile push notifications that keep you connected without relying on big tech app stores. These notifications allow creators to instantly alert their audience when they're live or have posted new content, ensuring that your message reaches the right audience at the right time. Plus, with monetization available from day one, you can turn your passion into earnings right from the get-go. Donations and subscription options make it easier than ever to earn income with your content. And it doesn't stop there. Pill.net is constantly evolving to meet your needs. Our updated direct messaging system makes it easier than ever for content creators to engage with people privately. Anyone can also go start their own group chats with friends. Pill.net is more than just a platform. It's a lively community where everyone's voice counts. Make your account today and let our team welcome you to Pill.net. Free speech lives here.
Yeah. And we want to make sure that we thank especially Matt Brown over there at Pill.net, who has really been kind to us. They gave us unlimited space. We can upload all 1,000+ of our previous shows on Pill.net. We're trying to figure out the best way to do something like that. I might just start uploading like 2 a day and see how long it takes me. Probably a year or more, 2 or 3 a day. Anyway, go over there and give it a try. There's a lot of interesting content creators that I've never heard of before. They do use a hashtag system, so if you just want to look for UFO stuff, Just put the hashtag UFO in when you do a search, or the hashtag paranormal if you want to look for ghost stuff or Bigfoot or whatever. A lot of interesting content creators there. And certainly some of them have been banned on other platforms. But I have been checking out some of the UFO related shows and coverage there as well. There's some stuff on spirituality, and it's not just Q-tards. And in fact, they want to bring in more content creators to kind of balance it out. Maybe the scales push too far into that kind of content. They want different kinds of content. All content creators are welcome, by the way, and you can become instantly monetized. So whatever it is that your content covers, you're welcome on pill.net. Just go to www.pill.net, give it a try. I think you'll be glad that you did. And B. Baker is sharing our pill.net URL, so you can find us. Midwest. I'm not going to read that out loud, but that's funny. How many people did Biden, I'll read it, kill this week? I haven't heard, but isn't it interesting? I think the Democrats are trying to take him out of the race, because now all of a sudden the floodgates are opening with all of this information about his financial dealings right before the election campaign really starts and heats up. Pretty interesting. Oh, Patty says, B. Baker, what happened to me a couple of weeks ago, but not tonight? I'm not sure what that's about. Yeah. Jewel Chicky Arlene says, I'm allergic to cow's milk, but I'm prone to breast cancer, so no soy. I use almond and coconut product. That's interesting and strange. I've never heard that, Jewel Chicky Arlene. So if you're prone to breast cancer, you should avoid calcium high products like cow's milk. I've never heard that. According to Archaic Revival, there are anti-cancer properties in tofu. Archaic Revival, I've tried to like tofu a bunch of different times. I've had it in Asian soups, didn't like it. I've tried frying it, didn't like it. I've tried all different ways to prepare it, soak it in different things so that it doesn't taste so crappy. I don't know why, but I kept trying to like tofu for a while when I was looking for alternatives to eating meat all of the time. I didn't like it. And right now I'm on a carnivore diet, so all I eat is meat. I don't know how soy would fit into that diet. I don't think it does. She can't do soy milk. Oh, okay. There's estrogen in soy, and that can affect breast cancer and people who are prone to. Now that makes sense. Thank you for explaining that, Thin Lizzy. See, I can learn, right? Patty says the Democrats want to dump Biden, but they definitely don't want Kamala. Yeah, I thought they were going to give it to Newsom. I really thought they were going to give it to Newsom. Pretty interesting. Archaic Revival says, it's okay. I'm not a tofu salesman. Yeah, I've never been a fan of it. I try to like it. And also, I had a vegetarian girlfriend long before my wife that I lived with, and she would cook tofu and all kinds of nope. And I also didn't. Back then, the meat alternatives were nasty, like Boca burgers and things. They didn't taste anything like a cheeseburger. Just gross. And because my girlfriend at the time who I lived with was vegetarian, I couldn't even use the same pots and pans to cook meat, because then she could get sick. After a while, your body loses the ability to digest meat and meat enzymes. So even if you cook a steak in a pan and maybe you don't wash it out good, and then she uses the pan to cook some veggie crap, she could get sick. So, yeah. Is there a money back guarantee on Stephen Greer's alien communication app? No, Midwest. You're just going to buy it. You're just going to buy it. You're just going to buy it, and you don't get your money back. Yeah, I don't like the texture of it either. Soy mimics female hormones. And then Lizzie Borden says, you're a female translator at your duty. Yeah. Sometimes people have to explain stuff about women to me, then Lizzie. It happens. Fried tofu with berry sauce is very good. I don't know. Tofu, flavorless filler, although high in protein and low in fat. No thanks. Yeah, I guess this is a great tofu debate. Just the name tofu doesn't sound appetizing to me. But all this talk about eating is making me hungry, and I didn't eat anything today, so I'm going to bounce on out of here. We've done our due diligence for today. One second. Let me edit that. The next show will be tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, 8/22. It's already, I can't believe the summer is winding down already. I've got just 2 more weekends of the summer left before fall starts kicking in. And I'm not a big fan of fall at the cabin. I much prefer the summers there. It gets cold super quick. It's going to be 30 there. Like in a month, it'll be 30 at night there. It's in the mountains. So next live show, friends, will be tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern. Please join us in the live chat. Hope to see you at our next live show. And please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share these videos. It really, really does help. If you share some of these videos on your social media, it really helps, and it increases our reach. And we would appreciate that very, very much. You'd really be helping us out. My other call to action is maybe not tonight. You've had your fill, but maybe tomorrow while you're driving or while you're cleaning your house or at work or doing whatever, come back and watch one more, because that really, really does help. Apparently, YouTube turns up the recommend dial if they see people coming to one live stream and then coming back to view previous live streams. For some reason, the algorithm thinks these people must make a good live show because people are coming back for it. So if you have time and get a chance, you could really help us out by watching one more. Just click that live tab. We have 1,000+ live shows on all different subjects. We would appreciate you doing that. So we have done our due diligence. Tomorrow night, I'll be back 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I hope you will be here with us. We want to thank all you kind and generous benefactors, you Twitch subscribers, you Patreon supporters, you YouTube channel members, super chatters, super sticker people, super thanks people. Did you know that? You could throw a few bucks in our hat even if you're watching a replay. Just hit that thanks button. And you kind and generous PayPal pledgers. We thank our chat room moderators. We thank Thin Lizzie Borden. I think she's booked the first guest. You got to let me know about that. We thank Mr. Ian and everybody out there helping to produce the show. Well, friends, we have done our due diligence. That's all I got for you for now. I'll be back tomorrow night. Hope you will be here with me. Until next time, friends, my name is Stephen Canby, and good night, and God bless all of you.